Hello there, and welcome to the final Let's Preview of the Liverpool season. And at the start of this season, way back in the transfer windows, way back in August, everything like that, I didn't think that our season would last this long. I didn't think that we would be able to get to the final of the Champions League and be coming up against Real Madrid in Kiev. I didn't. It didn't even enter my mind. It didn't even enter my mind. If I go back, and I went back and had a look at a video that I'd made earlier in the season, my expectations of the Champions League was just to do better than we did the last time we were in it, when I think we got knocked out in the groups. Quite an embarrassing sort of run under Brendan Rodgers that was. And to say that we've done that is an understatement. We've done a lot better. So much better. And before I get into the preview that this is, because it's going to be quite a simple preview, two big sides, one that's, a European giant. We are a European giant in our own respect, but they right now are the kings of Europe for damn sure, and we're hoping that we can take that title away from them for at least a year. But before we get into any of that, thank you seriously to every single one of you that's ever watched, ever subscribed, liked, left a comment, had a discussion with, anything like that, whether it's been positive or negative. Thanks literally to every single one of you, because this has been a hell of a journey this season. This season itself has been a hell of a journey without the Champions League, but with it, it has just been that little bit more. It's been much more, actually. It's been much more than a little bit. It's been so much. It kind of crept up on me. We didn't start this Champions League campaign very well, in my opinion. We didn't. It took us a while to get going, especially in the groups. It took us a while. We had a couple of draws here and there, but there was a stat that I saw the other day about Liverpool in the Champions League that Real Madrid will be looking to be the first team in this season's Champions League that won't have conceded 5 goals. And I thought that is a ridiculous stat. And I repeated that to someone at work today, and they were just like, that isn't actually an unbelievable stat that every team that we've played against. And you know what? I just looked at the stat. Didn't actually go check it out, so I could be wrong in some way. But as far as I'm aware, that is true. We have scored at least 5 goals against every opponent in the Champions League so far. In my mind, there's no way we're doing that to Real Madrid. We have the potential to do that against pretty much anybody, and I fully believe in the likes of what Mane and such have said, where they say they believe that we can beat anybody in the world. I have never believed that more than I have right now. I've never believed that so much, that we can go out and beat anybody in the world, including the current kings of Europe, Real Madrid. And they are the kings of Europe for a reason. They've won it 3 out of the last 4 times. That says it all right there. Real Madrid can struggle in Europe and still somehow pull out an overall victory. Juventus were pulling off the comeback of all comebacks, or at least a big comeback. It's not on the levels of PSG and Barcelona last year, but they were looking like they were on their arses. They were at home. They were 3-0 down to Juventus, a Juventus team that came out firing at Real Madrid, and they were tied 3-3. And it was only a silly moment of misjudgment by, I think it was the defender, I can't remember, and then obviously Buffon got himself sent off because of he was saying stuff to the referee. He was going absolutely ballistic. Penalty, Ronaldo steps up, scores the penalty, they go through. They can struggle and still squeak out results. That is how you know someone is a very, very high caliber opponent. Someone that can struggle, they don't look their best, they don't look anywhere near their best, and they can still pull out a result. That is a top quality opponent. That is a entirely elite, world class, whatever you want to call it. That is a world class opponent. History will say we've been here before. The reason I'm not really going to be looking into our history, and I know a lot of fan channels or fan websites and stuff like that, likes of This Is Anfield, they're looking into the history of us in the Champions League, obviously looking at that beautiful time in Istanbul, and comparing the teams and stuff when we had like Xabi Alonso and Gerrard, and now we've got like Henderson, Wijnaldum, Emre Can. The reason I'm not looking back in our history for inspiration is because they are two entirely different teams. There's no one in the '05 team that's in this current team because it was 13 years ago. 13 years ago? 13 years ago. There's nobody from that team that crosses over. The manager is obviously different as well. The style of play is different. So the reason I'm not looking back to history is, we've shown how good our history can be. We've shown how good our history can be when we do Champions League nights at Anfield. We have been very destructive when we've been playing at Anfield in the Champions League. We have. Cannot be understated. This is in Kiev. Technically, no one should have the home advantage. And I know that there's been struggles for fans and stuff like that. There's been 3 flights and stuff cancelled today. Hundreds of fans of Liverpool are going to be missing out because of misorganisation of a flight company or whatever it is, or Kiev themselves. They don't have enough landing spots. Just fly the plane over and just land it in a field. Who cares? Liverpool fans would get over there. If you gave them a plane and just dumped them in a field, they would find a way. I'm telling you now. That's gutting for those that are going. I am not in any sort of position. I'm not in a position where I could even afford to go to a home game right now. Never mind going out to a Champions League final. So, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? The point is, getting away from all of that, going back to the history side of it, I don't think history plays a part in this game. I don't. And the reason that I don't, because we need to go into this one on the back of our form that we've had this season in the Champions League and also in the Premier League. What do we do as Liverpool? We don't necessarily defend as good as we can, but we have got better. But what have we done? Almost better than anybody in the Premier League, and we've definitely done it better than anybody in the Champions League this season. We score goals. We score goals. We are a threat. Any of the front 3, we are a threat from anywhere, I believe. We have got very good intensity, very good passing, very good pressing as well. We are a very dangerous team. Real Madrid are obviously a very dangerous team. They have not had the best season themselves. I don't know if they finished 3rd or 4th this season in their league. They're obviously qualified for the Champions League, but they haven't been challenging Barcelona in the league this year a great deal. I don't know what the points differences are between them, but I think it's been quite a bit of a gulf. Real Madrid will be wanting to win this Champions League, so this season for them doesn't look like it's been a bit of a failure, which now, obviously if you didn't know, that Real Madrid's standards for what they want to achieve in a season are exceptionally high. Challenging or winning the league, challenging and winning the Champions League, that is kind of like a minimum for a manager, and that is really what the fans expect. And for us, I think that we can kind of go into this game almost like we've got nothing to lose, because nobody expected us to be in the final. We damn well deserve to be in the final by a long shot. I don't care what any opposition fan says, whether it's a domestic rival or anything like that. We deserve to be in this final, and we deserve to be going up against Real Madrid, and we will take it to Real Madrid. We will take it to Real Madrid like most teams won't, and like most teams can't. We will attack with furious pace, and we will attack with some form of organisation in the attack as well. Roberto Firmino is going to be absolutely key to that, but the midfield that's in behind, which is where does Emre Can come in? I'm kind of maybe swinging to the idea that maybe he can. Because we've lost Oxlade-Chamberlain, he would have been a shoo-in to be in this final for sure, and I'm gutted about that. He would have been in this final, definitely. In my mind, definitely. Emre Can possibly could come into midfield, go in alongside maybe Henderson and Wijnaldum, or Henderson and Milner. You know that Henderson is going to be there. That man deserves to be in there as well. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks about Henderson as a captain. Henderson deserves to be there. He's led this team very well when he's not been injured. He's done really well. We do notice when he's missing from this team, as good as Milner is as well. And Milner is obviously a separate thing as well. Milner causes you a little bit of a problem though, because Milner's got the most assists this season and is a record breaker for a single season assists in the Champions League. How can you leave him out? Again, it could be one of those things. This is where substitutions late on in the game could come in handy. Do you start Milner or do you wait? In my opinion, you wait, and that's no disrespect to Milner. Milner could go 90 minutes. Milner could go 180 minutes in a game. He is a machine. He is a tank. He is an engine. But I do think that we're going to need the leadership of Henderson. We're going to need those driving runs of Emre Can. This all depends entirely on how fit Emre Can is as well. We're going to need Wijnaldum and that little bit more of pace that he will deliver in the midfield as well. I think we're going to miss that from Oxlade-Chamberlain, but it can be provided. I'm also not missing out on the fact that we could change formation. We've got the flexibility now. You saw end of the season, final game, we won 4-0. Completely different calibre of opposition to Real Madrid, but dropping into a 4-2-3-1. That worked really well for us. That could be an option. That really could be an option. You could stick with the same midfield. You just have two DMs, two defensive-minded midfielders. One that maybe goes into the three behind the striker. Have Mane and Salah on the wing sort of positions, and Firmino up front. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of different things that we can go and take to this Real Madrid team. Backline, haven't mentioned because for me it's going to speak for itself. Karius, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Van Dijk and Lovren. That is what I'm expecting. There's no need to talk about them because, to be honest, they've been the best sort of defence that we've had in a fair few years. Not saying that they're the best defence we can have, but they've been the best defence that we have had in a long time. Hopefully they can do a job. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for is that Real Madrid are going to use their usual plan of attack. They'll use their wing backs and they'll take, because Marcelo's going to attack for days. Marcelo is going to go make sure he's as far up that pitch as possible, and he's a dangerous player in attack. I've said this before. He's like a much higher caliber version of Alberto Moreno. He is much better defensively, but he can get stuck up the pitch as well. Carvajal or whoever's going to play at right back sort of can do the same sort of thing. You do that against our wingers, we will punish you. We will find a way to punish you. I know Sergio Ramos, Rafa Varane will be in centre-backs as well, and they are dangerous centre-backs as defenders, and again, Ramos especially as an attacking threat. But we have the power, we have the technology. We can get in and around that defence, and I believe that we can expose them with pace. The technique, the technical play of Salah and Mane and Roberto Firmino, I think can cause massive problems. But I'm not ignoring that they can cause us massive problems as well, and without even having to speak about the likes of Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Benzema even now, may not have the seasons that he's had years ago, but he's still a dangerous player. The other two we're talking about, Ronaldo and Bale, we know their qualities. They've both played in the Premier League before, they've both expanded their games, they've both improved massively. They're both very dangerous. Gareth Bale scoring a couple of goals about a week ago or something like that. He looks like he's coming into form at just about the right time for him, and I don't like saying that. Ronaldo, doesn't matter if Ronaldo's in form, out of form, whatever. He's always going to be a danger. He is, in my opinion, the second best player in the world. That's just my opinion. We're not getting into that in this video though, and that's not because he used to play for Manchester United either. He is a quality player. I just prefer Messi. That's just out of those two. To be fair, actually no, he's third because Salah's first. What am I on about? Anyway, they've got dangerous players everywhere. They've got dangerous players that can either come on depending on how they start, the likes of Asensio, Isco. Then you look at their midfield that will probably start, which would be Toni Kroos, Modric and Casemiro, people like that. Navas in goal. They've got dangerous players. They've got high quality players as well. We're going to have to work our asses off if we're going to get something from this game. If we can't even get something, you either... I was saying this the other day, I was saying this today as well. Someone at work was asking, what you're going to do if you win and what you're going to do if you lose. If we win, I'm ecstatic. I'm obviously going to be ecstatic. It'd be massive. It'd be huge. Absolutely unprecedented success if we win this competition this year. But if we lose, I am very much a supporter that is like, okay, that sucks. That hurts, and that really is, it sucks. There's no other way to put it. But about 5 minutes after that result comes in, I'll be looking for next season, and I can't say, like, I know some people will be like living on this one for days and maybe weeks that we lost the final against Real Madrid in the Champions League. That a lot of people say we've. There's a certain Mr. Stephen Howson I've seen on Twitter. Someone shared a clip of him saying that we've shithoused our way to a European Champions League final. Don't know what you consider shithousing, but we have not shithoused our way to a Champions League final. Scored the most goals. I think we've got the most clean sheets with Karius. I think that's correct. We have the Champions League record-breaking assist for a single season in James Milner. We have not shithoused our way to a Champions League final. We fought hard and we produced quality when it was needed. We warrant our place in this Champions League final, whether you like it or not. And you know what? I kind of lost track of where I was going, to be honest. But regardless of any of that, if we lose, I'm not okay with it, but I'll move on from it pretty quick. That's just who I am. I don't like to linger on things. I'm just going to go, okay, look, we've done well. We made it to a final that people are saying that we shouldn't have got to, and we did. And if we fight and we do our best and we just get beaten by the better team, there's nothing you can do about that. That is just how it is. They were the better team, and you've just got to, okay, no problem. Let's build for next year. That's all you can do. If there's millions of ways this game could go. We could get smashed. We could smash them. It could be a tight game. It could go to penalties. Don't go to penalties. Oh my God, don't go to penalties, please. I don't know if I could take that. There's so many different ways this game could go. Making a prediction of this game is going to be so difficult, and I'm going to try and do that for you now. I haven't looked at, the last couple of fixtures and that for Real Madrid. I do know their last match. I think the last match in their league, they finished 2-2. I think they were 2-0 in front, and they can't remember who it was against either. But I don't think it was someone that was high up in the table, and I think they were playing like some of their best players. Anyway, none of that matters because this is a one-time game, one-off game, Champions League final, massive. Making a prediction. Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Unbelievable stuff. I'm going to be bold. You probably know as well. I would be genuinely surprised if we kept a clean sheet in this game. I really would. Genuinely. If we kept a clean sheet in this game, I don't know what I would do. I'm not going to promise anything that I might have to do on video that I might not want to do. But if we kept a clean sheet, that would be ridiculous, honestly. I am going to go for quite a mid-range to high-scoring game, and I think Liverpool will come out on top, 3-2 winners, and I'll tell you why. Because I think no matter what Zidane says, what Ronaldo comes out and says, I fully believe that this would mean more to us. It'd mean more to the players, and I think that we will show a hunger for this trophy. A trophy that we've not touched since 2005. We've all got great memories of that. Can we create brand new memories? I certainly hope we can, but regardless of what happens, this has been so memorable as it is. And I do apologise that this has been a much longer preview than normal, but I think it warrants it. I really do. It's the final preview of our Liverpool season, and I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Please do get your comments and stuff down in the comments boxes below. Like the video, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. But lastly, genuine thanks for. I've said it before in the video, but thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I have loved this season. There've been obviously down times in this season when we've not really performed very well, but overall, we've had a very good season. We can make it much better, but regardless, this has been brilliant. Thanks everyone for joining us on this ride this season. It certainly doesn't stop after this game, but let's just focus on this one for now. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and I will catch you later.